The Frontiers update for No Man's Sky has dropped, and it brings settlements that can become small cities, hundreds of new base building parts, Word of Expeditions 3, Twitch drops, and so much more. So let's go through it all. You can become the overseer of settlements and essentially run your own little sim city that will grow over time based on your choices. To get a settlement, just log in and take off in your ship. If you are a minimal amount of effort past the initial tutorial mission, you'll be contacted and given the coordinates to a settlement. Be careful on permadeath though, as when you get there may be a little bit of a fight, so be prepared and bring some ammo. This is how you'll find your first settlement, but you can find more using maps from the cartographer in space stations. After the initial welcoming at the settlement, you can interact with the monument in the centre of the settlement and assume control as the overseer. After which you can quickly construct your new overseer's office and start growing your new simulated community. This new overseer's office is then where you will handle settlement business, as there is a terminal inside where you can keep an eye on the current statistics as well as make choices for its future. It does not appear that you'll be able to choose where things are built or actually do the building for the settlers. Instead, you choose what is to be built based on limited options and then supply some basic materials for the construction at the building site. After supplying the resources, the buildings will build automatically over time. You can actually stick around and watch the building progress, but after the overseer's building, the construction times get a little long. My first warehouse said 1 hour, and that may be just one step in its construction, requiring me to return later and bring more supplies. Settlements have 5 key stats: productivity, population, happiness, upkeep costs, and sentinel alert level. The way you build your settlement and the choices you make can alter these stats. You can even choose between defensive measures which make sentinel attacks occur less often, or work on the ability to deal with them as they come. You can also focus on productivity over leisure. The productivity and success of your settlement will influence what you can gain from it, as excess products and materials will be available to you every day, though your settlement can fall into debt. There is a whole lot more to this, including being able to see the thoughts of some settlers as kind of speech bubbles as they walk around, but also things like their general happiness. The more unhappy they are, the more fights they'll have with each other. I'll be working on a big old comprehensive guide for this, of course, on exactly how settlements work, and for those that love it, how to min-max the hell out of it. Next is base building, as all of the new parts that settlements are made of are available to build with. I believe Beeplebum said it was around 380 new building parts, which is insane. The first thing you'll notice is that these new wood, stone and alloy parts have replaced wood, concrete and metal parts previously used. For older players who already had these building parts, they are still available for you to use, but new players can no longer obtain them. I can see this being a bit of a sore spot. I understand why they've done it, but it now gives veteran players a huge amount of extra building parts, but we'll see. The new wood, stone and alloy parts give way more options. Not only are there more of each than the previous 3 types, but they have contextual textures. This essentially means that some parts will look differently if connected to others. The easiest to see this on are metal walls. Having more than one high will utilise top, middle and bottom designs. Adding more to the top will shift the top design up and replace the beneath wall with a middle. This is not present on all parts, mainly on non-extruded wall types, not including short walls, but also including arches. Another little extra are wall end caps for extruded wall types, though so far I have not been able to get one to snap in place, so there does appear to be a few issues at the moment, especially with part snapping and the build camera. On the new creative mode save I made, the build camera would not work. It would zoom my view far away and unload where my character was standing unless on a base part, so be careful on permadeath with the build camera at the moment. It may also cause crashes, so save often. Galactic trade terminals can now be placed on these wall types, which is fantastic, and more amazingly don't require a power connection when in a player base now, so we won't have to do our little glitch pill light trick to get it powered anymore. Along with the new basic types, there are hundreds of decorations, like posters, building site objects like step ladders and cement mixers, cooking equipment like large pans and taps, a huge array of new roofing, including fabric types. The building menu has also been completely reworked, a new menu more similar to Valheim's when it comes to selecting your parts, where instead of scrolling through the menus, you can see full panels of the options. This is really nice, though it does have a huge impact on glitch building. The Blender glitch appears to no longer be possible, Adjacency glitching is possible, but only to the right, as the new menu allows you to cycle through the parts in that section, but only one way. These changes to building will make complex and epic builds far more accessible, which is a great thing, and in all honesty, worth the cost in my opinion for the loss of some of the extra options we had through glitching. Another huge advantage is that you can now phase building parts. This was one of the primary reasons we glitch built, to be able to phase different pieces to make new pieces and complex patterns, but with no clipping on most parts a lot more is possible and without fancy techniques. On top of the main building menu changes, the new edit menu allows you to move existing parts and duplicate them too. While moving you can rotate and resize. I'm unsure of the depth of this just yet, but with rotation of parts you can use a mouse scroll wheel which appears to rotate at specific increments, meaning we can use this for building with great accuracy, such as for building circles that previously required blender glitching. There is so much more to building than we have spoken here, and there will be a building part focused video coming very soon, showcasing all of the new parts, so keep an eye out and make sure you ring the bell for notifications. Next are visual improvements, as they seem to have tweaked some of the excellent visuals added in Prisms. Space skies have been significantly improved with all new visuals for generating nebular effects. Visual effects across the entire game have been significantly improved, destruction, environmental, combat and much more. The destruction effects especially were part of Prisms, so I can only assume they've tweaked them further. Either way, it was beautiful before and it can only get better now. Now for saves. The biggest by far change here is you can now have 15 save slots instead of 5. This is a huge deal and something people were really asking for after Expeditions was released, due to it requiring a fresh save for each one. Also, saves now work very differently. They are referring to it as save streaming. This new system allows for much larger saves. On console, each save is now treated as its own object, rather than all 5 save slots being bundled together. All existing saves have been automatically backed up. For PC specifies that a new STR backup folder in the usual save folder location has been added when the game switched to Frontiers. I'm not quite sure what this means for the future of backing up your saves, as bringing in a backup when save files are cloud synced can be a real issue. This could also prevent save editing, which is both a good and bad thing. Bad primarily because save editors were a way to fix bugged saves sometimes. The amount of discoveries stored in your save without being uploaded has been doubled. I cannot recall the exact numbers, but it is many hundreds. Any non-consumable Quicksilver rewards, such as gestures and base building parts, are no longer save slot specific and can be used across all save slots once purchased. This is a huge and fantastic change that will make many things better now. This does also solve the ever increasing amount of Quicksilver options being overwhelming for new saves on an existing account, as well as new players. It really isn't fun to have to get the same thing many times. Cross-save expedition rewards, titles and catalogue data will now be cloud synced along with other save data. Multiple users on the same PC and Windows login will no longer share expedition rewards, titles and catalogue data. This is concerning for any who lost access to their expedition Twitch drop rewards, as previously you could fix that by just adding a file. It seems that may no longer be possible, with any who lost their items being stuck on this. They also mention a few other improvements. On the discovery screen, improve the clarity of the button that is used to register completion of all creature discoveries on a planet. The reward for discovering all creatures on the planet has been significantly increased. This is pretty fantastic. I don't know the amount it has been increased to, but more incentive for exploration is pretty sweet. The clarity of the end of expedition countdown has been improved. Season 3 will begin soon and will bring an exciting range of new rewards. This announcement for Expedition 3 is pretty cool, and they've mentioned at least one reward from it, and this is a creature egg that will hatch into a xenomorph monstrosity, found at abandoned buildings. It will be a unique companion with its own set of emotions and stats. Along with this, they mentioned Twitch drops which will no doubt drop with the expedition, as early as this coming Friday, though a date wasn't specified. Rewards in the Twitch drops have so far been teased as anomaly statues, Kronos wearable head, the OK decal, a cool looking silver fighter, the new fireplace Quicksilver buildable, and, the most interesting, a unique companion, a purple and yellow flying beetle. There are also a few solid bug fixes, nothing major that stands out, but some really nice fixes, so pause now if you wish to read them. And that is your lot. Be sure to subscribe, as there is a whole lot more content for Frontiers coming, including a full showcase of all of the new build parts and a complete guide to settlement. Then with the new expedition, a speedrun guide, and of course a whole lot of streaming once Twitch drops go live. If you wish to help support Xaine's World, I have a Patreon, YouTube memberships and merch store, all linked down below, along with xainesworld.com, a website full of helpful information and tools for No Man's Sky and more, and a Discord with a great community of people who love NMS. Have a fantastic day, folks.